What's going on, guys? It is Mason of Delfino here today, and I have a very special guest. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general in 2017. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, because I'm pretty sure everybody already knows who you are, but if you don't know, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Nathaniel Bandy here. I'm really glad to be here talking to you again, Mason. It's been quite a while.
It definitely has, dude. How have you been?
I've been pretty good, yeah. How about you? How have you been?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm waiting for more to Switch stuff, waiting for E3 again, maybe, you know, just kicking back, waiting for Nintendo to keep rocking it. So we all know last year was pretty insane for Nintendo. It's 2018 now, the new year has rolled around, and I'm excited to see what they have in store. But before we get it down to that business, we gotta kind of talk about what they did last year, because that was incredible, was it not?
The turn around from 2016 to 2017 was, I don't think anyone could have predicted that, because I remember in 2016 everyone thought Nintendo was just going to die, but then the Switch came out and everything just completely changed, and there was not really a single sour note throughout the entire year, and just being able to be a part of that was so incredible.
It was. And like you said, like, people were surprised with it. Nintendo threw people a 180 for sure with the Nintendo Switch. Because obviously if they had another Wii U situation, that would pretty much be the final nail in the coffin. I feel like a lot of people thought that of the Wii U, though, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like with the Switch, you know, there was a lot of things that made it different from the Wii U. You know, they actually advertised it as a new console versus what they did with the Wii U, where it was like, oh, people will probably think this is a Wii add-on, but here it is anyway, you know. Like, you had the HD Rumble, you had the portable console vibe it had, motion controls, like the Wii. It seemed like a lot of like consoles bundled together, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the big thing really was that it was like bringing a console, bringing console games anywhere on the go. And I think for people in our age, in 20s, 30s, this is a very, very big deal, because I know personally a lot of people that have, normal day jobs, they'll bring their Switch to work and play like during lunch hour or something. And that's great, because instead of playing like some phone game where you have to use a touch screen and the game's just kind of with the Switch, you can bring Skyrim to work, and that is incredible. There's never been anything like that before, and I think that's why the Switch has really taken off.
I think it's crazy to think the Skyrim itself is on the Switch, and
that
it's portable.
That is amazing.
That's like insane.
And Doom, like the third-party games have been insane. Like honestly, I could see something like Grand Theft Auto 5 getting ported to the Switch.
Yeah, and the thing is, nobody would have guessed that a year ago. Everybody would have been like, oh my goodness, like, the Switch is going to fail, and third party's going to drop just like they did with the Wii U, and it's going to be game droughts upon game droughts upon game droughts all over again. And I think, those people could not be more wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to fanboy, I'm just, like, stating what seems to be the case. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, even the months when Nintendo didn't have games coming out, there were fantastic third parties coming out. Like, November was when there was 3 or 4 huge AAA ports coming. They also announced Wolfenstein 2, I believe, in November, which is really great. Like, I think January is the first month where there isn't really going to be any really big Nintendo or any big third-party games after several months at a time.
And the thing is, though, that's okay. I feel like, because now in my possession we have like maybe 10 Switch, like 10 first-party even. Like, think about what they did this year. Last year, I mean. They had, like, Breath of the Wild, they had Odyssey, Splatoon 2, ARMS. They had, what else they have?
Mario and Rabbids.
There's more. There has to be more. There was, definitely. They had 1-2 Switch. They just had a lot of, like, games. And that's not like they were with the Wii U. With the Wii U, they released Nintendo Land at launch, and then Mario Bros. U at launch. Waited 5 more months and released Lego City Undercover, I believe. And those were the only 3 first-party games in, like, the first 6 months of its life, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nintendo really just completely knocked it out of the park. I remember getting a Wii U. I didn't get it at launch day, but I got it, like, 3 or 4 months after it came out. And I bought Mario Bros. U. I played it. I played a little bit of Nintendo Land. And then it literally built a huge layer of dust before I turned it on again. I mean, that's how bad the Wii U, just how bad, like, there were good games on the Wii U, but there weren't a lot of them.
And the thing is, I feel like the sales were so low in themselves that, like, Nintendo never really put their whole heart into the games. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
everybody talked about, oh, 3D Mario is going to be announced at E3 2013. And while I do like Super Mario 3D World a lot, it is by far my least favorite 3D Mario. You know, I've made that very clear within recent years. But it's just like, for it to be almost 5 years old now, to have that game and to have the successor be a game like Super Mario Odyssey, that is a very big jump in quality. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you have all these people that are backing your system now. So with that, you gotta, it's like, with power comes responsibility. You know what I mean? And the Wii U, they totally did not have their hands on the reins. They were going out of control with that. Like, they did not know what was going on.
Yeah, like, it really goes to show that the first impression matters so much, because everyone was so skeptical when the Wii U was announced. Nobody knew if it was like an add-on to the Wii, if it was a brand new console. That alone kind of just screwed it up the rest of the way there. But the Switch, it was very clear, was a brand new system. It was a new idea, and, you know, it was powerful enough to have, you know, good games on there. So I think that's why Nintendo really had a lot more confidence to put out their best efforts, which is why we got games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey.
See, I feel like they knew it was going to do that too, though, because if they were working on, when did they start Breath of the Wild? Was it after, what game was it they put out that they started working on Breath of the Wild after? It was some Zelda game. Right?
Probably Wind Waker, because I think
Wind
that
Waker?
was the last like big Zelda game. There was Triforce Heroes on the 3DS, but that was just like a side Zelda.
And then there was that was a while ago, I guess, A Link Between Worlds. But you know, with this, you know, they had Breath of the Wild. That was the mark. That was like, this is what your console is all about. And that game was astounding. It was beautiful, it was fun, and it had everybody's attention, and it still does, because the DLC just dropped. Nobody ever saw DLC to happen in Zelda, I think. It was something I didn't expect at all, up until I played the game, and I'm like, you know, this would be good with DLC. And that's another thing I think they're actually doing right. You know, instead of like the Wii U, what did they have? They had Mario Kart 8, it had like the DLC packs. Those were good, and the Smash DLC was good, but that was like all they had. And like now, I feel like already off to a good start with what you're getting now. Like with Breath of the Wild, they just released that. With Splatoon and ARMS even, they released like content like they did with Splatoon 2. They released a new map every few days or week or whatever, along with new weapons. They had new characters for ARMS. And while that's not all paid DLC, that's also a good thing, because they're doing free DLC the correct way too. You know what I mean? It's just they're really hooking their audience with what they have right now.
Oh yeah, we haven't even gotten everything yet. Like, we've already gotten a lot of what we're gonna get. There's still new Kirby, new Yoshi coming out. Smash Bros hasn't even been announced yet.
Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4. The Pokemon game. Like, oh my god, when they show a trailer of Pokemon in HD, that there is gonna sell millions upon millions of consoles.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's just like, I'm really happy for Nintendo, because like, as a Nintendo fan with the Wii U, it was always like discouraging, because you're losing hope almost, because every game they release, you're like, okay, this is fun, but you know, people still hate the console. I'm not as happy with it as I could be, because there's game droughts. I played this game, I finished this game, and now it's done. I'm not gonna have another game for a few months, and it was just like a bad time. And I don't mean to say that to be rude. It's just like, it was a very dry console. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was almost as bad as like the Virtual Boy in terms of just flopping so hard.
You want them to do well if you support a company. Anybody would want that. But to actually prove what they have in their guns, you know, it's like, bam. And I love it. Like, you know, 2018, if it's anything like 2017, they're gonna rock it, definitely.
I don't think this year is going to be quite as big as last year, because they released a new Zelda and a new Mario, but I still think they are going to put at least one thing out that's a really, really big deal. Like, I could see a Smash 4 port possibly, or maybe they're finally going to announce the new Pokemon, you know, later this year. We'll see what they do.
Or Animal Crossing. I would be down for that.
Animal Crossing, but didn't even bring that up. Yeah, that could be a big deal as well.
And like, they, you know, with the sales even, like, it was the fastest, within 10 months, the fastest selling video game console of all time in the US. And that alone is definitely crazy. I don't think anybody saw that coming either. Because it's Nintendo, it's the kiddie, you know, vibe that everybody throws at it. And I'm not saying, I'm just quoting, I'm not actually like agreeing with that. But it's something for everybody. And literally, it's everybody this time. You know what I mean? It's not something people are comparing to a Leapfrog tablet or whatever. It's literally like, pick it up, go play Skyrim, play Smash Bros, play, not yet anyway, but play any kind of game you want, because you have the mainline first party, you have excellent third party support, you got everything you want in this console, and here it is, and you can take it with you.
That's saying the indie titles have actually been really good too. I've picked up a lot of indie games for the Switch.
See, I haven't been on the eShop too much.
Yeah, there's been obviously there's the Shovel Knight titles, which is great. I mean, I can't even think of how many. I've gotten quite a few different types of indie titles, and all of them have been really stellar. I remember like the Wii U had so much indie crap on there, but this is not really the case with the Switch so far.
Right. And like, they just have the support now. That is like their biggest thing that they got going for them. And while the console itself is great, nobody saw it coming, as we mentioned. But I mean, even at E3, where they announced Kirby, they announced Yoshi and Metroid Prime 4 and a new Pokemon that was in the works or whatever, it's just like, that proves within the 25-minute time frame they had or whatever, they can absolutely dominate. And while that's not always, I mean, it's a competition. It's business. That's just how they work. But to have those under their sleeve now, everybody knows they exist. Everybody knows they're on the way. And they've been pumping out these first parties like insane. There was Zelda, then there was in April Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, then there was June and July that had Splatoon 2 and ARMS, and then what was, I think September had Tekken, or not Tekken, I'm sorry, Pokken. That's it.
Pokken tournament.
Yeah, and it's just like, there's so much that they've been just fueling out to their audience and to people that want to play, you know what I mean? And if they don't like Nintendo, as we mentioned, they got third party now, so that's another plus. And it's just something for everybody, and I love it a lot. But like, they really, really dominated last year, I think.
I'm really hoping that Nintendo revives a few of their old IPs, because they have so many IPs they could bring back. Like, where is WarioWare? WarioWare would be perfect for this console, since you could do so much with the Joy-Cons. And like, where is Kid Icarus? Kid Icarus Uprising was a really cool title. Let's see that on the Switch. That would be really cool. What about Pikmin? Pikmin 4, is that actually going to come out? That would be nice. Yeah,
no, that was rumored. Or Miyamoto said it was pretty much done, but I'm pretty sure Hey Pikmin is not Pikmin 4.
Yeah, you know what probably happened?
You know what I mean?
Was he said Pikmin 4 was done, but they've decided to port it to the Switch. Like, I bet it was going to be on the Wii U, but since the Wii U was performing so badly, they're probably just moving it over to the Switch instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's just like, there's so much of the unknown too, like you just mentioned, like the old, like ancient, back in the day you had this, but now where is it? If they brought that back along with what they have now, they're going to be unstoppable. They pretty much are now at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as long as they keep getting, the big third-party games, they're going to be top dog for a while.
Yeah. I mean, for 2017 though, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it for them? Like for their own success as a business.
Oh, definitely like 9.5 out of 10. There was very, very few things that I think they screwed up. Like, the only truly negative thing that I can think about that they did was that Splatoon 2 headset, which wasn't even that big a deal, but that thing was just a disaster. And I do wish they kind of elaborated a bit more on the Switch Online, and maybe have said something about Virtual Console, because they've said absolutely nothing about that yet. So I'm guessing we're going to hear about that stuff finally this year, but it would have been nice to kind of get an idea, it's a taste of what we're going to see from that.
See, I think it's crazy that like even people like at Discord have said, "Hey, we want to help you put video chat in, or not video chat, but voice chat, party chat, and all that kind of stuff." And to have that kind of support from even non-game developers, you got all that kind of like software lineup and all that. Not lineup, but you get what I mean. Like, you have the backing for it.
See, and honestly, I really hope Nintendo decides to do that, because wouldn't it be really nice if you could just hook up your Discord account, and then, just like a regular Xbox or PlayStation, you can just talk to someone through Discord in between games, at any point in time while the system's on. I think that would be fantastic. Like, you could even do that on the go, too. Yeah,
and, like, that's insane. Like, if that were a thing, I would be completely okay with that. But that's the only Nintendo-y thing they did this, like, last year. Like, Nintendo-y as in they kind of failed with something.
Right.
Like, not to say that's who they are, obviously, but with the Wii U, it was a very Wii U era Nintendo thing to do, I guess. But for the Switch, they need to amp it up. They have. They proved that they are able to do so. And to have guns like Discord, like, hey, we're ready if you want it, that's impressive. And I hope that they pursue that because, the more convenient a system is, the more people that are going to want it. Nobody wanted to use the voice chat that Splatoon had to offer with the headset because that was a waste of time and energy, and it was like, it didn't work well.
It's something you would do like 10 years ago, but technology has evolved way beyond that. No one's going to buy an exclusive headset for a game. Like, that's ridiculous.
For one game.
Yeah.
And, like, that's where they need to realize, hey, we should do other things. But there was, like, that leak a few days ago with, like, 5.0 update or something like that with themes and all that. I don't know if that's real or not. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed fake. But if we had a Switch like that where it had party chat, it had themes even, it had, like, cloud saves, it would be absolutely, like,
nothing
a
would stop
dominator.
them. Yeah.
No. Definitely.
I mean, I guess the only other things I'd like to see them do is have a little bit more, like, media applications. Like, I'd love to see YouTube and
Netflix, maybe.
I guess those are the two big ones, YouTube and Netflix, and maybe even Twitch. Actually, Twitch would be really, really cool to have.
Where you can, like, stream on it.
Yeah. Even if you couldn't stream on it, like, just watching streams, that would be really fun.
Yes, that would be cool. And, they have the power to do that now. They can. It's just a matter of doing it. And I really do believe if they keep seeing the success they have, they're gonna realize that they could succeed more in other ways than what they've been doing. And they've been killing it, don't get me wrong, but like you said, the only kind of weird thing they did was that voice chat and stuff. And they could beef that up, they can make that amazing. They don't need that headset. All they need is the console and people that want to use it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The only thing, I'm trying to think of why maybe they didn't do that, and the only thing I can think of is that perhaps it would drain the battery faster, which I could see that being a legitimate problem. But, thinking into the future, I'm sure eventually we're going to get, upgrades of the console that has a better battery life, so this shouldn't be something that's just completely removed from the table. I do think that Nintendo should definitely consider implementing some form of party chat to their system. Especially if it's through Discord, that would be huge.
Right. So 2017, though, all in all, it was definitely a beautiful, magnificent year for Nintendo. But for 2018, you said you expect a little bit less in terms of software, but as a company, are they going to still keep it up, you think? Or are they going to kind of lay low again and kind of go back into the dust? What do you think is going to happen with them?
I think they're just going to keep pushing forward. Now, they're definitely not going to have as many big hitters, but I do think we're going to see a lot of really big third-party games. I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is a huge possibility for, like, maybe this spring or this summer. Maybe we're going to get some Dark Souls, hopefully like the Dark Souls trilogy could come out. That would be fantastic. Definitely Call of Duty. There's no reason the next Call of Duty shouldn't be on there, as well as Madden. So I think this will be a big year for third parties to really catch up and start getting their games on there. But I guess in terms of Nintendo, I want to see them announce that they're bringing back something like F-Zero or WarioWare or Kid Icarus. I just want to see something either an old existing franchise or a brand new IP.
Right. And I think the risk they've been taking, like with the ARMS, especially games like that they've been like kind of putting out, I think that's really done them well because it shows, they can be different, and that's okay.
And ARMS did well. It sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah, and it's not always Mario, it's not always Zelda, and they have Splatoon now. That's doing amazing as a franchise, and they've really shown their skill. They can do whatever they put their minds to, and that's what they need as a company. And they need to take the risk because that proves that they've had the reward.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess that's all for, me. Is there anything else you want to add before we take it out?
I think we pretty much covered everything. We got a lot.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's definitely, they killed it last year. I hope to do the same this year. Let us know what you think of the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general down below in the comments from last year, 2017. And let us know your hopes for Nintendo this year. Nathaniel, thank you so much for joining. It was a great conversation. And we'll definitely do this again sometime soon, hopefully.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Anytime. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let us know your thoughts of this video and other interesting thoughts you might have down below in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.